the last part for LO3, that was the merit one. Analyze how senior managers can use information to positively influence their teams in support of their decisions. First, you guys are going to focus on the command verb, and it clearly means start with the definition, examples. If you have to stick with the name, then go for the small medium enterprises, otherwise, go for the general ones. Then, problems, solutions, and in the end, a conclusion or recommendation. The question itself is asking about senior managers using the information, impacting it pure in a sense of positive way, so that it can cause a support to the teams when they're making decision. Because in many of the organization structure, we have a kind of leadership which is laissez-faire. There is an authority to the workers and employees. They can even talk about different things. All right. This is the definition for the command verb. All right. Senior managers play a critical role in ensuring their teams align with the organization's goals and objectives, whatsoever they are doing, whether they are helping you out in taking decisions or they are guiding you further, helping you out in going into a workshop or some training session sort of thing. They need to be aligned um, parallel with the goals and objectives of the organization, and it varies from organization to organization. To do this effectively, they rely on information to make evidence based decisions, influence their teams positively, and guide their organization towards success. And in this way, what happens? It's not only about the role of senior managers in different departments of the organization, the employees, the working empower also has a great impact on the goodwill of the organization, the profit maximization factor as well, and on the committee as well, the board of directors committee. All the points which we are going to study today are from your indicative content. Okay, evidence-based mission and objectives. What it means, the mission defines the organization's purpose, the reason behind of any project or to take a decision or to make a change, while objectives are specific. They cannot be changed, but they can be changed within a time, but in a stance, in a time frame, they cannot be changed because you're working as a base for it. Measurable goals that support the mission, and you can measure it. They are not the one which are just not acceptable in the long term or going to be sustained for a longer period of time. They are going to be measurable goals. Evidence-based mission and objectives are those developed using accurate and reliable data to ensure alignment with the market needs, consumer expectations, and operational capabilities. And with that, evidence-based, which means whatsoever homework you are doing for the project, strategic decision making, and so on, that needs to be according to the need and requirement of the market. And it comes under the industry as well. Then, what is demanded, liked by the consumers? And operational capabilities. Are you enough capable of going to work with the project or decision in your daily activity course or not? Because it all occurs within expenses too. How senior managers use information. Now, the first point for this under the point one is market research. Analyze consumer behavior, likes, dislikes, wants, needs, what they are into the seasonal changes, industry trends, what is going on in the industry. Then comes the market, and then comes the different organizations and competitor performance. Now, these are not your rivals. These are your competitors, the one from which you are competing. You're making the same products, but quality can differ, prices will definitely be differed, and the sizes too. To set realistic objectives, and you're working on the real grounds. Again, in the example, I chose an SMEs from the Canada. You can choose from UK or any other country you want. For example, a Canadian SME in the food industry, such as local organic cafe, uses consumer surveys and sales data to focus its mission on providing sustainable and healthy meal option that is gluten-free, keto-friendly, low-carb diet, and so on. It's unnecessary nowadays because of our diet going on, and it's a good initiative. But here, this is the perfect example for the market research. What is going on? What is demanded by the consumer? We are going to work accordingly. Like the food industry, the food business can never get flopped if you're working with a good niche and research. Employee element alignment. Share evidence-based objectives with the teams to foster understanding and motivation. That is, you are showing them the evidence proves that yes, we can achieve it. This is realistic, measurable goals, and we are going to work hard for it. For example, a regional IT consulting firm in Toronto communicates its goal of increasing client retention, that is, they want to retain them in the organization by 15%, backed by the data showing client dissatisfaction with the response times. What they're doing, the clients, they are not responding to the queries of the company in time, but what they really want, they want to retain the organization consumers by 15%. This is their goal at the moment. Transparency in decision making, being opaqueness. Leaders who use data driven decisions build trust with the teams, encouraging collaboration. That is, they initiate that the workers who are working within the project and in the organization and department, they should be in the decision making processes, whatsoever kind of it is. For example, a small manufacturing firm in Vancouver demonstrates how reducing energy waste aligns with its mission of sustainability. Now, this is just a simple discussion, but where the factor lies is that they are being quite firm with the decision making process. They're discussing with everyone. Importance helps employees see the why, the question why behind organizational goals, why we are going to do this, why this is necessary. That is what is here in the first point, the mission one. Increases commitment to achieving objectives. And once you are able to answer the questions why, you know that you can achieve all kinds of objectives which are related to the objectives of the organization. Builds credibility for the senior managers and you put trust in them. You feel confident when they are going to appreciate you, motivate you that you are working hard towards achieving the goal. Number two is informed, regular business reporting and actions based on evidence. All the proofs, evidence we have regarding whatsoever things are going on in the organization, they must be based on information and proper check and balance. Definition. Regular business reporting involves collecting, analyzing, and presenting data on key performance indicators, KPIs, to make informed decisions. Why? Because here we are relating it with the managers and with the employees, working people in the organization. So it's important that from where they are actually collecting the data, the raw information, then how they're analyzing it, collating it, and then how they're presenting it as well. It could be through presentations, it could be through report, or just verbally through different gestures. Evidence-based actions are those that rely on data rather than the intuition. That is, you're not going to have a feeling for it. It is going to be factual based. We're not going to assume anything when we're in a pure corporate sector, specifically working under the information and regulatory department. How senior managers use information. Now, this number two, tracking progress. Use regular reports to monitor team performance and identify areas for the improvement. That is, you're going to have a proper check and balance on the performance of the employees who are working to achieve the goals of the organization, whether they're working in the project or they're working in a sort of a department or a manufacturing unit. For example, a logistics SME in Montreal uses weekly dashboards to track delivery efficiency and reduce delays. Now, there are so many software and systems updated that makes things easy, but you should have a know-how of that app or software, how to use it and integrate it at the same time. Then data-driven feedback. Provide constructive feedback to teams based on performance metrics. Again, the KPI indicators, we have different indicators in it, numbers given to them. And then we need to assess the employees accordingly. For example, a marketing agency in Calgary uses analytics to show how the content targeting younger demographics is driving higher engagement, encouraging the team to focus more on this segment, specifically people in the age group of 15 till 18, how they are working and able to achieve the targets. Proactive problem solving, that is, you're going to take the measures. It's not going to be only about listing things. Address challenges as they arise by acting on real time data. Whenever the problem comes, you're going to come with the solutions too, and that needs to be implemented as well. For example, a small software development company in Ottawa notices delays in project delivery and reallocates resources based on workload data. So, what it is, there is a problem going on, and they are having a solution as well at the same time. Importance. It enhances accountability and productivity because you're having a proper check and balance, you're accountable to each and every segment, and you're working on the productivity as well with the comparing the motivation. Empowers the team people by ensuring actions are supported by the facts. You're not going to talk in an air or just beneath the ground. Everything is going to be evidence based, proof based. Improves decision making accuracy. And when we discuss with the like your peer groups, your colleagues, senior managers, department heads, everybody is in a one room. We do have a proper exchange of an ideas and we come up with a good solution and a decision as well. Number three is personal objectives aligned with wider business objectives. Here we can talk about the rivalries as well. We can even discuss about the entrepreneur's own thinking and then aligning it with the goals of organization. It is a very difficult task because you alone cannot be the sole person to run everything. You have a team. Personal objectives are individual goals set for the employees that align with the broader goals of the organization, ensuring every team member contributes to overall success. You alone cannot take the responsibility. You alone cannot enjoy the profits. That's insane. Every person and entity who's involved in achieving that project, making the organization go on ahead, it's necessary that they should have a share in it and they can talk as well. How senior managers use this information? The first point is setting individual goals, target wise. They are the personal objectives based on employee strengths, weaknesses, and career aspirations. We can go for the SWOT analysis with the employees as well, individual employees, so that we know that what are their strengths and areas, their weaknesses, what opportunities they can help us in availment, and the threats as well. In the case of retention, absenteeism. For example, a small accounting firm in Edmonton assigns a junior accountant the goal of automating data entry processes, aligning with the firm's objective to improve operational efficiency. Now, what they're doing here, he is an accountant, a junior one, a kind of an assistant, TA, and their individual goal is put here just to make sure that they are aligning with the objectives of firm. With that, they need to work on the efficiency of the operational activities going on the daily basis in the firms. And in itself, they have to work on the data entry processes. Performance reviews use data from the employee performance evaluations to identify areas for growth and creative development plans. Again, just like we work on the likes and dislikes of the consumers, we need to work on the employees as well. What are the areas in which they lack? What are the areas in which they distinguish with others? They're going to be excelling in that field or in specific area. For example, the tech SME in Vancouver identifies a software engineer excelling in client-facing tasks and transitions them to a project management role. Now, what he is doing, he is a general software engineer, and what he is doing, client-facing task, working on their task as well, and forming it into the project as well. So it's a double standard going on at the same time. Motivation through recognition. When you're going to recognize a person for their efforts, you're going to motivate them, giving them a reward. Definitely, you will expect a good output from them. Recognize and reward employees who achieve their objectives, reinforcing alignment with the business goals because obviously they're working with the boundaries of objectives and organizational goals. But again, they are doing something unique for us, company. For example, a boutique fashion brand in Montreal awards bonuses to staff, sales staff exceeding targets, the maximum sale targets, and then they are going above the abnormal ones. This means their staff is an excellent one and they need an appreciation. Supporting the goal of increasing revenue. And in the end, what are we getting? More profit, more revenue, more money. Importance ensures individual contributes are meaningful and impactful whatsoever they're contributing to the decision making or any project or a simple discussion going on for the strategic decision making. They must be meaningful. It should have a proper ground. Boost employee morale and engagement. Obviously, when you're going to involve the factor of SWOT analysis and motivation, then definitely they will be boosted up with the morale and engagement. They are going to be in each and every aspect of discussions. Aligns personal growth with organizational success. When you're going to polish them, then individually working on them, you're going to make them feel important, then definitely your organization is going to boom. It won't be lacking in any of the sectors. Examples of senior managers using information in Canadian SMEs. Green Tech Solutions Toronto. This a renewable energy SME aimed to reduce operational cost while improving client satisfaction. What they're doing, they need to reduce the cost which is going on the daily hours or in a week, and that's the reduction in the expenses. And with that, what they're doing, they want to satisfy the clients too. What the actions they take? Used customer feedback to identify dissatisfaction response times. Now they're going to talk, they're going to interact with the consumers, and they need to be resolve this issue as soon as possible. That's why there is a dissemination factor going on in case of dissatisfaction in each and every aspect. Implemented software to track response metrics and provide regular reports. Whether to go for the manual writing down everything, it's better to go for a software system in which you can literally have everything recorded. Set individual goals for employees to improve resolution times by 20%. That is, whosoever is in this department, every person is going to have his her own role and they're going to work for it. Because in the end, they will be rewarded. Outcome client retention increased by 15%. They were able to retain them in the organization for by 15%. And employees felt empowered by clear data driven objectives and because they know their roles, they know what to do. When they have an authority, even a smaller one, they are going to feel confident. They feel like they have something in the organization and they will do whatever they can to retain the consumers. Number two example is Maplewood Bakery in Montreal. Maplewood, a small family-owned bakery, wanted to introduce gluten-free options. Just like keto, we have a gluten-free diet as well. That's for the people who are lactose intolerant. Analyzed consumer purchase trends and conducted a survey to gauge the demand. What they did first, they had a survey going on, and then they adjusted the trends of the purchasing, and they were able to sell things and to meet the profit margins too. Developed a plan to train staff on gluten-free baking, aligning individual training goals with the business objective. Now, the people who are going to come for the jobs, interviews for the hiring purpose, definitely you need to train them. Then that the main focus is for the gluten-free products, and it's not easy. It takes time. It is difficult to handle as well. But this is what the utmost goal of the organization is, the bakery. Outcome increased sales by 25% and gained loyal consumers in the gluten-free market because that's true. Even in your countries as well, there are certain bakeries that you're so much loyal towards it. No matter what, you know that these things are only going to be met there. Otherwise, you can't find it anywhere in the mart of that quality. Then strengths and weaknesses of using information for the influence, for the influencing factor. What the information has a hold. Gets to it. Enhances trust and credibility in leadership. Whatsoever the role is, type of leadership is democratic, autocratic, laissez faire, centralized, decentralized, it should have a trust. Whereas time intensive to collect and analyze data because obviously first you need to have a proper source, then you need to extract the data, then it needs analyzation, then it gets implemented, and then if a problem comes, then you need to go for the feedback part as well. Aligns organizational and individual objectives. Both entities are important, company, workers. Whereas it requires investment in data tools and training because it comes with a cost. If you're not having enough reserve at the back, your tools are not upgraded, the machinery is outdated, you cannot pursue further. Improve decision making and team collaboration because you're giving them enough importance. You're making them feel like that they have a whole part in the organization. They're motivated enough. And the profit maximization also boosted. So definitely the decision making also gets better. However, over reliance on data may reduce innovation when you're always extracting information from the different gaps in the society, industry, market, and what you are doing as a benchmark. Because as a company, it's our job to be unique, to be different, to invent something new. It empowers teams with clear, measurable goals because you're working There are specific limits and grounds. We need to achieve the profit. We need to follow the goals and objectives of the organization. But with that, the goals which we're making, they're measurable as well. They're authenticated. Whereas resistance from the employees unfamiliar with data-driven methods, the one which are quite old one, they do not want to change with the upgradation. That can cause a problem, and many of the organization it does as well. The rivalry builds inside the competitors, with that with among the people as well of the same departments in different departments. Judgment. Senior managers who use data and evidence to influence their teams foster trust, engagement, and alignment with organizational objectives. While challenges, okay, let me explain that. Now, the one who are the head of the different departments and working under the HODs as in senior managers, what they're doing, they're working on the data and proof so that they can influence, they can, you know, attract the people, the workers, so that they can have a proper trust, they can proper do an engagement in a sense, they can, have a proper feedback of a communication, give and take rule, and then we can work with the objectives of the goals organization. While challenges like resource intensity exist, it's expensive, so the resources are too scarce as well. You need to work with the limit. The benefits of clear communication, that is, whatsoever the senior manager is dictating, you need to follow it, but you need to reply as well in the form of feedback. Informed decision making, because everything is being discussed by everyone, the managers, the board of directors, the employees, and employee empowerment far outweigh the drawbacks. And it's true, when you make them feel important, worthy, they are going to have a good output in the organization in terms of profit and sales as well. Conclusion. The effective use of information allows senior managers to align their teams with organizational goals, improve performance, and drive success. And with that, we work on the goals, the performance increases overall of the employees as well, and ultimately you're successful. Through evidence based mission, informed reporting, and aligning personal and business objectives, Canadians' SMEs like Green Tech, Maplewood illustrate the power of data driven leadership. It doesn't lie about these organizations, there are others as well. By combining analytical tools with human empathy, the tech, and the human power, senior managers can create a motivated and high performing workforce, ensuring long term growth and success. Because when we're going to have an aggregate guidance, we're going to have help and support with each and every step, then the hurdles are going to be less, the obstacles are going to be less, and you will be successful at a higher pace. Till slide number 19, this was the lecture. Now we are going to do a real life solution. Okay. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. A Canadian SME, Ecotech Solutions. Now, this is a Toronto-based SME specializing in the sustainable energy solutions. It could be for the construction site as well, and for the other purposes as well. It depends. But they are working in what? The sustainable energy solutions for the homes too. The company faced a challenge in meeting its annual revenue target due to declining project completion rates and consumer satisfaction. They were not satisfied, obviously, and the project completion, the final dates, the finals were on the date. Senior management needed to influence their teams to improve performance while aligning with the goals of organizational objectives. Because once they will improve the performance, automatically we are going to achieve the goal of sustainability in the energy solutions, and the customer satisfaction rate is going to increase. So the first point is evidence-based mission objectives from your indicative content. The senior management team reviewed market trends and consumer feedback showing a growth demand for solar panel installations in urban residential areas, the one which can afford the homes, the villas. Updated the mission to focus on providing affordable and timely renewable energy solutions for the urban households. There are different schemes as well by the different chairmen and prime ministers for different countries and cities so that people can have more energy from the solar system. And I don't know about the others, but we can even sell the energy, the electricity which we create to the by Vabda in Pakistan. And they're not going to charge you anything. Outcome. Employees better understand the company's priorities and felt motivated to contribute to the revised mission. The one which they're not sticking with the one thing, they have to retain to work on the betterment of the solar systems and the energy gained from it. So what they're doing, the employees are taking initiative in it. Informed regular business reporting. Management implemented a new performance tracking system, PTS, that monitored the project timelines, consumer feedback, and team productivity. Because now this is the best thing. You're going to work with the time frame with measurable goals. And with that, you're going to work with the feedbacks by the consumers, whether these are positive or negative, and working as a team, one team. Weekly team meetings were introduced. Informed regular business reporting. Action management implemented a new performance tracking system, PTS, that monitored the project timelines, consumer feedback, and team productivity. It means whatever the projects we are going to initiate in the organization, they are going to become part with different timelines, with different time frameworks. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and so on till 6 months. And consumer feedback, what the likes and dislikes, their wants and desires are. And team productivity, when definitely you're going to make sure that they initiate in the decision making, they're going to be productive as well. The motivation level is high. Weekly team meetings were introduced to share performance data, including project delays and consumer satisfaction scores. Now, what happened when they were allowed to have a share and to discuss that what you have done so far in 1 week, second week, third week, and so on? This gave them a motivation and a deadline at the same time that they need to do something within a week and coming weeks as well. In this way, you're not going to be delay. Every milestone, every time frame is going to be met, and with that, the scores of the consumer satisfaction is going to be achieved as well because you're working on the product. Outcome. Employees identified bottlenecks such as delays in sourcing material. Bottlenecks are the, you can say, hazardous obstacles which we feel like we can have further. And it was delays in sourcing materials from where they're going to get the extraction of the raw materials with different suppliers and propose solutions like working with the local suppliers. And with that, a problem and a solution as well. For this, they're going to work with the locals. Consumer satisfaction increased by 15% after project timelines improved because you were taking report every week. Number third was personal objectives aligned with business goals. These were actually three main points in your indicative content, which even you in the answer will discuss according to the command web description and suggested evidence. Managers set individual targets for the project managers, including completing installations within 30 days and increasing team efficiency by 10%. Installations of the solar panels, because you need to watch them afterwards as well, and you need to see how much units you're making and how much consumption is going on of the electricity at the moment. And if some units are saved, you can sell them to the Vapida, to the powerhouse, and it increase the efficiency as well. Employees were trained to use new scheduling software to improve task management. That is the time frame one. They installed a new system for this, and this made sure that they're going to be within the boundaries and they need to achieve everything and finish as well. Outcome. Teams felt more motivated or empowered with clear measurable goals. They know what their duty roles are. By the end of the quarter, every 4 months, the company achieved a 25% improvement in project completion rates, helping the Ecotech meet its revenue target. And the main problem was to have the revenue issue, the money issue, and it was resolved by 25% as well because they were working on the goals in alignment according to the time frames. So the key results are first, improved alignment. Employees aligned their efforts with the updated mission and objectives. Whatsoever the new update used to come, they worked on it. Increased productivity, performance tracking, and personal objectives uh, motivated teams to work efficiently. And when they were having different indicators, the employees worked harder to achieve the goals. Enhanced consumer satisfaction, timely project completion improved consumer loyalty, boosting repeat business. That is, they're going to be sustained in the industry for a prolonged period of time. So, Ecotic Solutions senior managers effectively used information to positively influence their teams, demonstrating how evidence based decisions and clear communication can transform team performance and align employee efforts with organization goals. So, what's the whole crux of 3M1 was? If you feel like there is a problem going on, start motivating your employees. If this is also not working, then go for the strict deadlines and time frames and do a proper check and balance with each and every move. In this way, they know that people are asking questions from them. There is somebody who has been you are accountable to, and you need to work harder. And in this way, if there is a problem going on with the consumer retention rates, you're not able to keep them happy, you will automatically achieve that as well. This real life scenario highlights the power of data driven leadership in the Canadian SMEs. And that's it. We're done with the whole course, Alhamdulillah.